As well as functional requirements, the scope plane is concerned with content requirements. Mixed content works together to fulfill a requirement. It can be a combination of video, images, text, audio, and games. Take into consideration the format, the purpose, and the size of the videos, the size of the images, and so on, because they'll affect what are called non-functional requirements. In doing so, we need to consider, do we have the resources available to produce the desired content? Because all content ideas sound fantastic when somebody else is responsible for implementing them. And with that in mind, remember, requirements are needs, not features. The focus isn't, we need a website. The focus should be, how can employers easily evaluate my skills? That's the need. The website services that need. We had discussed how requirements can be broken into categories. And within those categories, they can be further broken down into types. And at a high level, that's useful, sellable, and buildable. So, is what we're building, is it useful to a customer? Is it useful to us? Is it sellable? Could we sell this thing if we had it? If we build this thing, could we sell it? And also, can we build it in the first place? Can we build it affordably in terms of time and resources? These requirement types can be further broken down into objective, functional, non-functional business rules. So an objective requirement type is, what does the user want to accomplish? A functional requirement is, what does the user need to do in order to accomplish that objective? What's involved? Non-functional requirements also need to be taken into consideration. What constraints does the site or app have to perform within? You may need to take security into consideration, scalability. Scalability means as your user base grows, can your application handle the growth in traffic? And also the business rules. What dynamic constraints do we have to meet? Calculations, definitions, legal, etc. All software tries to model the real world and the rules that apply in that. And often, a product is a virtual representation of a business. So defining and refining the rules of how a business operates is extremely important if you want to map that to a piece of software. A user story is a story of how a user interacts with your system in some way. So in our case, our users are recruiters, employers, and collaborators. And the stories or the interactions with the system can be obtaining contact information, obtaining work history, obtaining a skill set, contacting the developer. So we need to flesh out how those stories can be made reality. Here's an example of some more detailed scenarios. A collaborator chooses to work with a developer. In order to make that decision, the requirements might be the ability to view skill sets, the ability to view contact details, the ability to submit a project outline for collaboration. Another scenario is a recruiter chooses to work with a developer. How do they arrive at that? Well, in order to do that, they may also want the ability to view skill sets, the ability to view contact details, and the ability to see work history.